you believed in me. זה הבית, הוא בית טוב, זו הארץ שרצינו עד מאוד. זה הבית ונאמר אהלן, שלום עליכם לכל מי שבא לכאן. זה הבית, הוא בית חם, מגיעים אליו מכל קצוות עולם. זה הבית, הוא בית אוהב, וגם...
If I could ask everybody to please find their seats. Again, all faculty and graduates, please assemble in the back. We're going to be starting in a few minutes later than scheduled due to the parking situation to allow everybody to come in.
חלום שהוא ישן וגם חדש, זה המקום, החלום, עוד נעלה לשם ברגל, לבקר את המקדש, זה המקום, החלום, זה חלום מתוק זבת חלב ודבש, זה המקום, זה המקום, זה החלום.
You want me to try to sit back? I gave
Okay, onesie.
מעניק שאני בנפרד, כי אני יהודי לא הולך לבדי, רק איתך ידידי יד ביד. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד, לא רוצה להיות לבד, רק לנצח שבת אחים גם יחד. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד, לא רוצה להיות לבד, רק לנצח שבת אחים גם יחד. להיות משפחה זה סוד השמחה, כי ביחד הכל טוב יותר, ואנחנו שרים כל ישראל חברים, ולאף אחד לא נסכים לוותר. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד, לא רוצה להיות לבד, רק לנצח שבת אחים גם יחד. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד, לא רוצה להיות לבד, רק לנצח שבת אחים גם יחד. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד, לא רוצה להיות לבד, רק לנצח שבת אחים גם יחד. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, כאיש אחד בלב אחד, לא רוצה להיות לבד, רק לנצח שבת אחים גם יחד. עם אחד שיר אחד בוא אחי ותן לי יד, ונוכל לשמוח ולרקוד יחד, אם נצליח לאהוב ונשיר הנה מה טוב, המשיח עוד יגיע בקרוב. עם אחד שיר אחד.
Hoy zara kafar horetz uforatz do yom avokirmo. Hoy zara kafar horetz uforatz do tvoin of neko. Hoy zara kafar horetz uforatz do yom avokirmo. Hoy zara kafar horetz uforatz do tvoin of neko. Uforatz do yom avokirmo. Yom avokirmo it's a fine of neko. Veni bechu becho komish bechai so adamo. Uvizarecha. Uforatz do yom avokirmo. Yom avokirmo it's a fine of neko. Veni bechu becho komish bechai so adamo. Uvizarecha.
Good evening, everyone. We just have to wait a few more minutes as the line subsides from outside. Should be another 5-6 minutes. Thank you.
should be able to begin in a few minutes. The line's moving more quickly. Again, if we could ask everybody to please turn your cell phones to vibrate and to keep the aisles that they'll be marching down in clear. Thank you.
מסתכל פה ושם מסביב לעולם יש צרות, דאגות, החיוך נעלם מחר תראה רק שחור כי גם זה יעבור והכל יסתדר כי השם יעזור יש תקווה, נשיר כולנו יחד יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד לא ניפול, לא נרד כי אנחנו לא לבד יש לנו השם אחד יש תקווה, נשיר כולנו יחד יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד לא ניפול, לא נרד כי אנחנו לא לבד יש לנו השם אחד היחיד או איתי שים ידך בידי אל תדאג, אל תפחד כי ניצד יד ביד הקדוש ברוך הוא את כולנו אוהב ותראה שמחר ייגמר הכאב
Let's please find our seats. We will be beginning in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד לא ניפול, לא נרד כי אנחנו לא לבד יש לנו השם אחד יש תקווה
Good evening, everybody. Once again, please keep the aisles clear. Power down your cell phones or switch them to vibrate. We're about ready to begin. Tonight's ceremony, Todah Lakel, that we're here in person. Graduates and teachers. We'd like to begin by thanking this evening's sponsors. This evening's 8th grade graduation is dedicated by Nicole and Darren Ovid in honor of their son Jacob's graduation. We'd also like to thank our supporters, Gail and Jojo Shehebar in honor of Joyce, and our contributors, Marjorie and Jack Gindy in honor of Eli, Hannah and Albert Hasson in honor of Nathan, Pascal and Elaine Kamaji in honor of Emma, and Darlene and Greg Salzman in honor of Michael. I would now like to call upon Mrs. Dovrat Levy, representing the faculty who's serving as this year's faculty marshal, to commence this evening's ceremonies before we invite the graduates in. Mrs. Levy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the faculty and administration of the Yeshivah of Flatbush Elementary School, it is my honor and privilege to officially commence this year's graduation exercises. Mazal Tov and Mabruk to the graduating class of 2021, Tafshin Pei Aleph.
Thank you, Mrs. Levy. And now it is my honor and privilege to invite the graduating class of Tufshin Payoff 2021 to take their place of honor in the auditorium. Once again, please keep the aisles clear. Graduates, please remain standing. Graduates, please remain standing. Now I would like to invite the faculty of the Yeshivah of Flatbush to enter the auditorium. If I could ask everyone now to please rise for the national anthem and please remain standing to the Tfilah L'Shlom Medina that Rabbi Ben Hamu will lead us in. So once again, please rise for the national anthem. Rabbi Ben Hamu.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל. ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו, הגן עליה באבד חסדך ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך. חזק את ידי מגן קודשנו, והנחילם אלוהינו ישועה, ותרת ניצחון תעטרם. נתת שלום בארץ ומחת שלום ביושביה. ותאחינו כל בית ישראל, פקוד נא בכל ארצות פזוריהם, ותוליכם מהרם מיוצריך. לירושלים משכן שמך, ככתוב במות משה עבדיך. אם יהיה ידך בכיסא השמיים, משם יקבצך אלוהיך, משם יקחך. ויחן אלוהיך ארץ אשר ישוב אבותיך וירשתה, והיטיבך והרבך מאבותיך. ויחד לבנו לאהבה ליראת שמך, ולשמור כל דברי תורתך. ושלח לנו מהרה בן דוד משיח צדקך, לתור מחכה כס שבועתך. ואהופה בארגנוזך על כל איש דבר רצח, ויאמר כל אשר נשמה באפו, אדוני אלוהי ישראל מלך ומלכותו בכל משלה, אמן ואמן סלע.
Please be seated. Every time we have a program, we're always worried what could go wrong. We were nervous all day about the weather, and thank God the weather seems to be cooperating so far. So we had a little glitch there with the anthem, but hopefully Satan got his due, and we'll let the rest of the program proceed smoothly. At this time, it's my honor to call upon our General Studies Principal, Mr. Berkman, to extend greetings.
Welcome, parents, colleagues, and students. What a year it's been. We're thrilled to be here this evening to celebrate with you. Every one of us was challenged, and I believe changed, by a pandemic that never could have been anticipated, and especially significant, there was no script for it. We had to adjust, sometimes daily, and make the best decisions we could based on the information we had. To the Board of Trustees, thank you for your vision. To my colleagues on the administrative team, thank you for your dedication and decision-making. To the teachers, thank you for your radical flexibility. To the parents, thank you for your patience. And to the students, thank you for your perseverance. I also want to take a moment to thank our nurses, Dr. Strulowitz and our medical committee for the endless hours they worked to enable us to make appropriate judgments and remain in school. And to our graduates, there were days when we weren't sure we were going to be here to celebrate with you. There were days when we weren't sure if we were going to remain open or be on Zoom. There were days when we were worried, scared for ourselves, for our own safety, and that of others. And there were days we could relax and forget about what was happening. What it required to manage this situation was good decision-making. And when my father spoke of decision-making, he didn't say, make a decision and live with the consequences. He challenged me to make a decision and make it work. So how does one do that? I offer some advice to you. Identify your goal. Gather the information. Measure the obstacles, calculate the risk, and make it work by seeing it through. We sincerely hope you take advantage of the opportunity to reboot as the fog of COVID lifts and you make decisions that are honorable. Remember, it's not about making the right choice. It's about making a choice and making it right. Thank you, enjoy the evening, and congratulations to our graduates.
Thank you, Mr. Berkman. It's now my privilege to call upon our president, Mr. Abi Hidary, who is not only here tonight as the president of the yeshiva, but as a proud parent of his daughter, Katie, a graduate tonight.
Thank you, Rabbi Hertzberg. Such a beracha to be here tonight. Together, all of us. You know, beracha, it's something that we all want. It's something that we give. We say 100 berachot every day. And every once in a while, we're supposed to stop, take stock, see the beracha around us. And this is one of those times. Graduating elementary school. It's a gigantic milestone. Now, whenever I get up to speak, they usually try to remind me, it's not about your kid, you got to speak about the institution. But I'm going to make an exception tonight. Rabbi Hertzberg said that my Katie is graduating. Love you, Katie. Congratulations. But I look at Katie, actually, I look at her friends, I look at all the faces that are looking up at me. So I'm actually speaking on behalf of all the parents. And I see beracha. I see your smiles, I see your excitement, I see your curiosity, your confidence, your determination. I see how you interact with each other, you interact with your teachers, your grandparents, and it's tremendous beracha. And as the president of the school, I could tell you, I see beracha in which transpired this past year and a half. Really was a disaster, right? Students, we had to wear masks and barriers and the Zoom classes. Do we have school? Do we not have school? Quarantines. Where's school going to be? We had to make last-second decisions. But we came together as a yeshiva, as a community, as the Flatbush family. And we succeeded and we're here. And it's a tremendous beracha. I want to thank you all for putting beracha in my life. And I guess the beracha that I'd give the graduating students is that you should always be able to stop and take stock and see the great things that we have, the great things Hashem has given us, the beracha in your lives. We're all so proud of you. Congratulations, and good luck in high school.
At this point, we're going to show a short video of some highlights of the year. Please sit back and enjoy.
רבות אברהם הזה בדרך, ואני הולך עם ראש למעלה, כל אחד הוא בנו בת של מלך. ככה היה, וככה זה גם עלה, יהודים נשמה בוערת. בכל מקום ובכל ארץ, לא רוצה שיהיה אחרת. יהודי אני, זה משהו נצחי. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה רחל ולאה. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה רחל ולאה. עברי אנוכי ויעש השם אלוקי השמיים אני יורד. 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 A little bit of history I've been through. Ask me where I'm from, and I will tell you I'm a Jew, and every Jew's a proud Jew. Not just me, my sisters and my brothers. Never be ashamed to be a proud Jew. It's not what you've done, it's how He made you. So sing the song and spread the pride around you. Yehudi ani, eternally. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elikei ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elokei 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 hashamayim ani I'm a Jew and I'm proud and I'll sing it out loud, 'cause forever and ever that's what I'll be. I'm a Jew and I'm proud and without a doubt Hashem is always watching over me. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elokei hashamayim ani yoreh. 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 Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem hashamayim ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem elokei hashamayim ani
I'd like to thank Mrs. Perlman, Mr. Victor Baca for making that video. And now, it is my honor to call upon our two valedictorians to address their classmates, Ariel Eisenberg and Randy Didia, the daughter of our Rebbe, Rabbi Morris Didia.
Honored rabbis, faculty, family, parents, and my fellow graduates, the time has finally come. We're graduating elementary school and are getting ready for the next chapter of our lives. We're one strong grade. We've encountered one of the toughest times in history and have only gotten stronger from it. COVID-19 has brought shock to the world and has affected us tremendously, but from all of it, we only grew. We found the light in the darkness and overcame this obstacle. Now that we're about to step into the next stage of our lives, we have to understand that we will face many challenges like this that will make us want to give up. But it's in those times that we need to push away the darkness and realize that we're stronger than what we're facing. We're each unique in our own special ways and have so many people to turn to if we ever feel alone. בפרשת השבוע, פרשת קורח, קורח ואנשיו מרדו נגד משה ואהרון, כי הם האמינו שהם היו באותו רמת קדושה שלהם, ולכן היה מגיע להם את אותם היכולות של המנהיגים והכהנים. השם החשיב את המרד לחטא, ולכן גרם לארץ לבלע אותם. כפי שכתוב, ותפתח הארץ את פיה, ותבלע אותם, ואת בתיהם, ואת כל האדם אשר לקורח, ואת כל הרכוש. In this week's parasha, Korach and his men rebel against Moshe and Aaron, feeling that they were just as important as them and deserved the same rights as leaders and as Kohanim. Hashem finds this rebellion to be erroneous and therefore makes the earth swallow up Korach and all his belongings, and his men are burnt by a fire from the sky. But later on in Bamidbar, it mentions that Korach's sons didn't die. Why is that so? Rashi states that when Korach and his men started to rebel, Korach's sons showed regret in their hearts and found that light in all the darkness that they were in by doing tshuva and were therefore saved. In any situation, no matter how challenging, we can always find a light that will lead us somewhere safer. In Korach's sons' case, it led them to survival. Having mentioned survival, it reminds me that when I first came to the United States, I didn't speak a word of English, and my only goal was academic survival. I never envisioned myself standing here before you today with the honor and privilege to deliver this valedictory address. But I'll be honest, it wasn't easy to make it this far, and I faced many challenges, darknesses, on my journey to this position. But after every challenge, I worked even harder to find that light and to overcome that obstacle. We can accomplish anything we want as long as we set our minds to it. As John F. Kennedy once said, we're not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through that darkness to a safe and sane future. I would like to thank all the people that have made this moment possible. I would like to thank both my parents for molding me into the person that I am today, and for always setting my standard no lower than what I am capable. I would like to thank our rabbis, teachers, and principals for not only teaching us the standard material, but for always going above and beyond to ensure that we had an unbelievable year. I would like to thank my classmates for always being supportive in my decisions and for always believing in me. And finally, I would like to congratulate the class of 2021 for this amazing accomplishment. Each and every one of us should be so proud of ourselves. We've completed 8 whole years of studies and are finally graduating from the elementary school. Remember, we all have great potential and remarkable outcomes are yet to come. I can't wait to watch and experience them with you in our next 4 years together in high school.
And now, Randy.
Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021 on a job well done. We did it. While we will soon embark on a new chapter of our lives, we must not forget the role the Yeshivah of Flatbush had in the formation of our character and in preparing us for our future. In whatever direction we are headed, we can agree that the Yeshivah of Flatbush has instilled in us 2 guiding principles, resilience and faith. Especially during the past year and a half, we were taught to build the strength and equanimity necessary to maintain balance in our lives and overcome adversity. We rebounded from hardships, confronted difficulties, and learned to persevere. We must also remember that our spirited resilience is grounded in our faith and trust in Hashem. Our unshakable belief that HaKadosh Baruch Hu guides and supports us during life's journey is a foundational principle and cornerstone of our strength and resilience. במשך השנתיים הראשונות בחטיבת הביניים למדנו ספר במדבר. בני ישראל נענשו בגלל חטא המרגלים ונשארו במדבר 40 שנה. רצוני להציע שהשנים במדבר הייתה הכרחית כדי שילמדו חוסן והתמדה לפני כניסתם לארץ. במדבר האב עמד בפני אתגרים רבים, למשל חוסר מים ואוכל, מלחמות, מגפות ומדידות. אמנם פעם אחר פעם למדו אבותינו וקמו בפני האתגרים האלו. אנחנו גם ממשיכים ללמוד מן הניסיונות שעמדו נגד דור המדבר. גם התורה עצמה מעידה שדור המדבר האמינו אמונה שלמה בקדוש ברוך הוא. כמו שכתוב, על פי השם יחנו ועל פי השם ייסעו. מסעות בני ישראל במדבר היו על פי השם. כשעלה הענן מעל המשכן, בני ישראל נסעו, ובנוח הענן על המשכן, בני ישראל חנו. העם לא ידע מתי או לאן הם הולכים. התורה גם נותנת דוגמאות רבות לפרקי זמנים שונים שהענן חנה או עלה מעל המשכן כדי להדגיש את האמונה של בני ישראל במדבר. Although the 40 years in the harsh environment of a desert was punishment for a transgression, I would like to present an additional thought. The decades in the desert were necessary to build the character trait of faith coupled with resilience. During the 40-year sojourn in the desert, the nation was confronted with numerous challenges, trials, and tribulations. For example, lack of water and food, wars, plagues, and rebellions. It was during those years and before entering the land of Canaan, the Bnei Israel acquired a deep faith in Hashem, along with the resilience necessary to overcome the challenges they were soon to encounter. Resilience without faith, however, cannot always endure. While examples of Bnei Israel's resilience in the face of adversity are numerous, the Torah also bears witness to the nation's steadfast faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his guiding hand. The Torah relates that the nation's travels and encampments in the desert were based on the movement of the cloud that was present in the Mishkan. When the cloud rose above the Mishkan and moved, it signaled that Bnei Israel should break camp and travel. And when the cloud settled back in the Mishkan, the nation was to camp. Bnei Israel were not apprised of the destination, the length of time they would travel, what is awaiting them, or any other details. This is the Torah's beautiful testimony of Bnei Israel's rock-solid faith in Hashem and his involvement in our lives. There is no doubt that as we head to high school, we will face new and unexpected challenges. With the resilience we learned at the Yeshivah of Flatbush and in Chumash Bamidbar, and with our profound faith in Hashem, we will surely overcome the many trials that will confront us. Resilience and faith are two components of a winning combination that will serve us well and allow us to accomplish great things. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our teachers, principals, and administrators for providing us with an amazing education. I'd also like to thank my friends and classmates for their support, encouragement, and for always being there for me. And to my parents and grandparents for shaping me into the person I am today and for always giving me the tools I need to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy and Ariel, for two wonderful, inspiring speeches. Rabbi, after everything that happened since COVID, would you consider it a successful year? It was a simple question asked to me by one of our graduates at the end of Minyan one day, and it really struck me. In fact, I couldn't let it go and found myself forced to think things through. After all, how does one define success after a year like the one we all experienced? On a basic level, the fact that together we were able to keep the ship of school sailing forward despite the many storms we encountered throughout the year and bring it into port here tonight to celebrate your graduation in person is a success. However, upon reflection, this measure of success seems underwhelming. It reminds me of something Winston Churchill said after several 100,000 British soldiers were rescued from Dunkirk in June 1940, during those dark days of the Second World War. In his attempt to prepare the British people for the long war ahead and to temper their enthusiastic celebration of this rescue, Churchill stood up in Parliament and sounded the following warning: "We must be careful not to assign to this deliverance the attributes of a victory. Wars are not won by evacuations." Merely staying in the game, Churchill was reminding them, was hardly the same as winning the game. Similarly, While it was certainly a meaningful accomplishment that we were able to manage to have a school year that gradually, thank you to Hashem, came to resemble more and more a normal one, the question kept gnawing at me. Was this enough to consider it a truly successful year? As it happened, I gained some insight this past Erev Shavuot as I was relating to a friend how exciting it was when we took you guys bowling. I described how one of the boys allowed me to bowl one of his frames. Though I am not a good bowler, I luckily got a spare. The young man very generously offered me to bowl his next frame as well. While I should have left well enough alone and ended my bowling career on a high, I gave in to my ego and bowled again. The two gutter balls I subsequently bowled didn't seem to impress the students watching as much as my spare did. After telling my friend this story, I came to realize that the answer to my question might be found in bowling. In bowling, the point value of a spare or a strike is not determined in the frame that you bowl them in. Rather, only after you see what follows in the next frame can you calculate what the initial strike or spare was worth. Likewise, we can find a similar concept in rabbinic literature. One example appears in a discussion of the saddest period of the Jewish calendar, which we mark in a few weeks when we commence our mourning for the destruction of our holy temples. The Talmud relates that the second temple was destroyed due to senseless hatred, and as Rav Naftali Tzvi Yehuda Berlin, known as the Netziv, explains, this idea manifested itself by people not giving each other the benefit of the doubt. As we all know, the fast of Tisha B'Av culminates this tragic period. Our rabbis explain that to accurately determine the value of our fasts, we must wait to see how we act post Tisha B'Av. If we act graciously toward others and give them the benefit of the doubt, if we show them love and kindness to our fellow people, then we can be confident that our fasts were of tremendous value and accomplished their purpose. Like bowling, a spare, and a strike, the value of our fasts can only be calculated by what we do after them. So back to the original question, was this a successful year? The answer I came to is, it depends on what we each do next. If we build upon our experiences, if we have learned to take nothing for granted anymore and to value every minute we have together, then it will have been a remarkably successful year. If we build upon our experiences, if we have learned to give each other the benefit of the doubt, then it will have been a remarkably successful year. If we build upon our experiences, if we have learned to pursue our dreams with vigor, then it will have been a remarkably successful year. Dear students, we have been through a lot together, but as both a grade and as individuals, from the highs to the lows and back to the highs again, you never lost your enthusiasm and excitement. Your courage and insistence to try to make things as normal as possible were simply remarkable. I realized that many of you have already begun to build upon this year's experiences. Therefore, while I am no prophet, I have total confidence that there are future leaders of Am Yisrael sitting in front of me tonight who will look back at this year as the year that helped propel them to greatness. I guess, therefore, after all is said and done, we don't have to wait to see if we become better people tomorrow to determine if this was a successful year. So many of you have already done so and proven that. And so I proudly stand here tonight feeling fully confident in answering the question, was this a successful year? Unequivocally and definitely yes. Mazal Tov and Mabruk. And now, we have a very unique presentation. The students made a video, as you'll see in a moment. The representatives of the Student Advisory Council, who will be appearing in order that I'm about to announce, from 8406, Samantha Reba and Samantha Zoltan, 8401, Sammy Cohn and Nathan Hasson, 8402, Katie Luzia and Rochelle Cohn, 8410, Morris Edery and Morris Ringer, 8405, Raquel Gindi and Margot Linzer, and 8408, Michael Salzman and Max Romano. The students, as you'll see, surveyed their friends, about the content that you'll see in the video.
Dear parents, on behalf of all the graduates of the Yeshivah of Flatbush Elementary School, we want to try to achieve the impossible, to offer our thanks to you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you have done and continue to do for us. This past year during COVID has made it very clear that your love and commitment to us knows no bounds.
All too often, we kids take many things for granted and don't show our appreciation adequately. We therefore wanted to do our best to acknowledge all the ways you help us thrive, from providing us with our most basic needs to being our best friends.
So we surveyed students in our classes to hear about the things that they especially appreciated this past year. Some are cute, some are funny, and some are quite serious, but they all are sincere and come from deep in our hearts.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for always being there for us. We realize that despite all the jobs and responsibilities you have, you always manage to make sure we were safe, comfortable, and supported. No matter how busy we were, you lifted us up when we were down and cheered us on when we were up.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for redesigning our houses during Zoom to become distance learning schools. We appreciate how practically overnight you rearranged our homes to accommodate our needs and to create technologically friendly learning spaces.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for running a 24-hour-a-day restaurant and tea room for us. We realized that we and our siblings had different schedules and needed our meals and snacks at different times. And with superhero powers, you made sure we always had good food to eat to keep us going strong, not an easy task.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for being our personal Uber drivers. Whether it was driving us to school multiple times during the day because of all our different arrival and dismissal times for COVID tests, or taking us at the most random times to the place we needed to go. We appreciate how much you went above and beyond to show for us around.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for being our IT consultants, whether it was fixing our internet connection, helping us navigate Zoom, or figuring out how to use Google Classroom. You found the time and had the patience to help us even when you were busy with your own work and responsibilities.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for helping us review our work and being our sounding boards on school projects and assignments. It meant so much to us that no matter how busy we were, you found the time to help us succeed as students.
On behalf of the graduates, we'd like to thank you for teaching us on how to use our judgments and to make good decisions. We appreciate how you help us recover from our setbacks and learn from our mistakes. You guide us how to build upon our successes, a chain we'll need in the future.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for being our emotional and psychological support during these times of uncertainty. One of the most frightening things about this past year is that we never knew what the next day would bring. Would we be in the school building, or would we be in another location like Beth Torah? Would we be in quarantine, or would we be in the school building for in-person learning? But throughout it all, we were certain of one thing, that you would be there for us.
On behalf of the graduates, we would like to thank you for providing us with a wonderful education and preparing us to be Bnei and Bnot Torah. But more than anything, we thank you for always believing in us. We hope and pray that we will always make you proud.
We can make an even louder applause for our students. Wonderful job. It seems
that a speech today without a reflective statement about COVID is no longer a speech. And there's certainly many meaningful reflections, but there's one in particular that I would be remiss if I did not mention tonight. We're truly blessed in the Yeshivah of Flatbush, but on a very personal level, I've been blessed to be surrounded by exceptionally talented, dedicated beyond all reason and bounds, and most admirable group of administrators. After the past 2 years, I feel like I speak of them more as family than colleagues. We are all indebted to them, and I, above all, am grateful and humbled to be a part of the YOF administrative team. I wanted to personally thank each of them for everything they do every day for our students and for our yeshiva. Our early childhood director, Ms. Debbie Levine Greenbaum. Our director of campus life, Dr. Bethany Strolowitz. Our associate principal of Judaic studies in the lower school, Mrs. Chani Gratzman. Our associate principal of general studies and director of teaching learning, Rabbi Dr. David Saltzman. Our general studies teacher, principal, Mr. Robert Bergman. And of course, our middle school principal, Rabbi Dr. David Hertzberg. Along with that, our ship over these past 18 months was steered by our stoic leadership in the executive office, led by none other than our venerable executive director, Rabbi Dr. Jeffrey Rothman. Thank you, Rabbi Rothman, and thank you to the executive office. Last but certainly not least, they are heroes on an average year. But over these past 18 months, they've redefined what being a superhero really means. Our teachers, our student services, our administrators, Jean, Rose, the crew, every single person in the Yeshivah of Flatbush, trying to thank you like this will simply not do it justice. But from the bottom of each and every one of our hearts, we say thank you for giving every part of yourselves to our students and to the yeshiva. Okay, now to our dearest graduates. This week, we learn one of the most riveting stories in the Chumash, Korach, the rebellion of Korach and his followers against Moshe and Aaron. In the aftermath, there's a miracle that takes place with Aharon HaKohen and his mateh, his staff. It began to grow flowers, and from those flowers grew almonds. Moshe takes this staff after the miracle to show everyone that in fact it was divinely decreed that Aharon HaKohen should be the Kohen Gadol. But Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal asks a very powerful question on this. He says, I understand that we needed a miracle for Moshe to show that Aharon was the Kohen Gadol, and therefore flowers had to grow, and maybe even the meaning of the almonds. But why did it not have to follow its natural course, where the flowers fall before the fruit comes out? Why was that miracle necessary? And he answers that the flowers represent the hard work, the toil, the preparation. And the fruit represents the mitzvah itself. He says that Hashem is showing us a very valuable lesson here. He cares about our effort. He cares about our preparation just as much as the mitzvah itself. You Talmidim have put in tremendous effort over these past 8, 10, 12 years. Similar to many grades before you, you were tried and tested. You were challenged and you persevered. But no grade in our recent history has had to face quite the challenges that you did. Your efforts in the face of adversity, your preparation is what got you to this day. And my message to you is to keep that focus in every stage you encounter in life. Prepare, prepare, prepare. We celebrate Erev Shabbat as if it is already an extension of Shabbat. Our rabbis teach us, however much a person prepares for Shabbat is how much they will enjoy Shabbat. It is a metaphor for life. Be prepared. Put in your effort. Your results will continue to speak for themselves. אני מאחל לכל אחד מכם שפע של ברכה, שפע של הצלחה בכל מעשה ידיכם. שתזכו ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות את רצון אביכם שבשמיים, ולהמשיך להביא נחת רוח לאבא ואימא, לסבא וסבתא, לעצמכם ולבורא עולם. מזל טוב מכל הלב ומברוק לכולם. By the authority invested in me by the State of New York Board of Regents and the Yeshivah of Flatbush Elementary School Board of Trustees, I hereby declare you graduates of the Yeshivah of Flatbush Elementary School. Mazal tov and mabruk.
I would now like to call upon our yearbook editors, Brenda Antaby, Randy Didia, Katie Hiddery, Asher Melamed, Galiet Mita, and Jacob Ovid to present the yearbook dedication. Here's the yearbook. You gotta just speak into the mic. And you're on live stream. Oh my gosh. Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jacob Oved. On behalf of the class of 2021, we, the editors of your yearbook, present to you Imagination 2021. We would like to ask all faculty members, including those who are parents of graduates, to please rise.
While the world was anxiously focused on surviving day to day, our faculty's focus was always on our tomorrow. Like the heroic frontline doctors, nurses, police, and firefighters who stepped up to the moment, our teachers and counselors set aside all thoughts of their own safety, health, and personal concerns, inspiring us, their students, with their incredible courage and commitment to fostering our spiritual, moral, and intellectual growth.
On behalf of the entire faculty, we would like to invite Rabbi Nachman to come to the stage to accept his honor. We take special pride this year in dedicating the Yeshivah of Flatbush Elementary School Yearbook Imagination 2021 to all of our teachers and counselors who dedicated themselves to never faltering in guiding us onwards.
Over the course of an unpredictable school year, we never knew for sure where we would be or when. Whether that today's classes would be in person or on Zoom, in quarantine or in cohort. But one thing was always certain. You, our teachers, would do all that you needed to do to ensure that our learning continued and our morale held strong.
You embraced new technologies, adopted creative strategies, and adapted your classroom lessons to keep our educational march moving forward and our spirits up, rarely missing a step.
We want to thank you for your enthusiasm, your knowledge, your caring, and your insight. But mostly, we want to thank you for believing in us and demanding from us our very best. The teachers of our yeshiva provided us with an island of normalcy. We can never thank you enough.
Shalom Aleichem and good evening. Thank you. I'm both humbled and honored to accept this yearbook and speak briefly on behalf of my fellow Rabbanim, Morot, and teachers. An academic school year for a teacher is very much like a marathon. This year, the marathon changed into an obstacle course. Yet with the support of our administration, the understanding of our parents, and the resilience of our students, we all persevered and succeeded with the help of Hashem. In our marathon this year, we stood arm, locked in arm, ready to cross the finish line together. And so to our administration, we as teachers say thank you for your unswerving leadership. To the parents and students, Mazal Tov and Mabruk, thank you for your belief in us. Boys and girls, we're proud of you. And to each other, men and women, rabbis, morot, and teachers, we say to each other, Chizku ubirchu, yishar kochachem in the plural. Thank you.
Okay, so now some instructions. I'd like to also call first Mrs. Perlman, our yearbook advisor, to help distribute the yearbooks. We're going to call your name up. Your picture is going to show on the Jumbotron as you're coming up. You're going to come up the staircase to my left, which is your right. Boys are going to get your yearbooks from Rabbi Tsaidi. They have your names on them. Girls from Mr. Berkman. When you get your yearbook, you're going to walk behind me and go down those stairs. You can go back to your chair and be seated while your friends get theirs, look at the yearbook. Following, when all students get their yearbooks, we're going to conclude the program with Hatikva, and then just ask everybody to wait for the graduates to recess. So again, as I call your name, please come forward to get your yearbook. Mazal Tov and Mabruk, Max Abed. Ariel Adaf. I'm sorry, Omri Adaf. Omri, your brother. Omri Adaf. My bad. Robin Adis. Sorry about that. Aaron Altman. Harry Ancona. David Angel. Brenda Antaby. Alan Anzerut. Loris Arazi. Solomon Babe. Daniel Bailey. Ralph Baxt. David Ballas. Yonatan Ben Simone. Corey Beta. Julia Beta. Teddy Beta. Teddy Beta. Maris Braha. Haywood Shalom. Once again, graduates, walk behind me, please. Joyce Shehebar. Colette Shahova. David Cheney. Sarah Chitri. Alicia Cohn. Barry Cohen. Irene Cohen. Jacqueline Cohen. Kevin Cohen. Rochelle Cohen. Sammy Cohen. Sherry Cohen. Sonny Cohen. Eli Daba. Randy Didia. Elliot Dweck. Joseph Dweck. Lynn Dweck. Jacob Ibani. Morris Edery. Ariel Eisenberg. Charles Elman. Josh Elmakias. Benjamin Epstein. Eliette Evanhar. Sammy Faena. Jacob Fallick. Adam Feintuck. Jack Feldman. Judah Flaster. Sally Thuerty. Daniela Friedman. Rosie Gaudet. Lila Garfinkel. Sean Gurmesian. Allison Gindi. Eli Gindi. Raquel Gindi. Ronnie Gindi. Ryan Goldring. Avi Gutman. Shira Guy. Ricky Haddad. Adele Hamway. Nathan Hasson. Katie Hiddery. Isaac Hood. Ovadia Huri. Hannah Idy. Esther Isayev. Celia Jajadi. Emma Kamaji. Joseph Kamkachi. Leah Katash. Rachel Catry. Gabriela Kapelovich. Clara Crame. Mark Levy. Margot Linzer. Boaz Lotwin. Katie Luzia. Donna Malinsky. Susan Masry. Asher Malamed. Isaac Mishan. Galiet Mita. Lydia Mahadib. Jacob Mugrabi. Michael Nahon. Jacob Ovid. Sherelle Razabi. Maris Ringer. Max Romano. Samantha Reba. Sylvia Saad. Michelle Saadia. Meyer Sakal. Michael Salzman. Mark Seton. Sam Seton. Daniel Schaefer. Jacob Shalom. Victor Shalom. Victor Shamia. Michelle Sofer. Joyce Rohr. Emily Suad. Ezra Sultan. Alyssa Sutton. Eric Sutton. Haim Towell. Nina Towell. Julie Tabelli. Jacqueline Tabelli. Tuni Terzi. Sarah Tolchin. Daniel Valinsky. Esther Warren. Esther Warren. Dorley Weitzman. Gloria Winnick. Rosie Yadid. Hannah Yegan. Esti Yazdi. Samantha Zoltan. Mazal Tov and Mabruk. Let's give the graduates a big round of applause. We're going to conclude the program in a moment with Hatikva. Then I'm going to ask everyone to please just wait for the graduates to recess. Reminder, 6:45 Tila Monday morning for our trip to Hershey Park. Rabbi Tzidi would just like to say farewell before we sing Hatikva.
Before Hatikva, I just want to take 2 seconds to recognize that putting together this particular graduation was a tremendous, tremendous feat that was led by two very special leaders in our middle school, Rabbi Hertzberg and Mrs. Lindashif. A big round of applause, and a thank you for making tonight so special.
Thank you. If I could ask everyone to please rise for Hatikva. Graduates are going to recess in the reverse order they came in. Mazal Tov and Mabruk. I'd like to thank our tech crew, Mr. David Idy. Big round of applause. Mr. Victor Braca. And Mr. Sammy Salzman for just being here. And Jacob Khalili. There's a minyan for Arvit on the side over here. Minyan for Arvit.